whoa. That's all I can say. If you're a Chennai fan, it's like, whoa. If you're a Kolkata fan, it's like, whoa. There's a lot of woes that's going on. But at the end of the day today, one will be whoa, and the other one will be woe is me. Woe is me. Yes, Chennai were put into bat by Kolkata, and they have reached a mammoth target of 192. Yes, they scored 192 in their 20 overs. I don't know how you pick, but it's got to be the Faf du Plessis show, right? If it's Faf, ultimately, who just turned out to be fantastic. We'll show you the match summary of how they played. 86 of 59, getting out on the last ball. Played a smidge under half the deliveries that Chennai had to offer. And look at that strike rate. Absolutely fantastic. Talking about strike rate, can't rule out Moeen Ali. 37 not out of 20. A lot of criticism that he hadn't carried his India form into the UAE. Put that to bed today quite decisively with that innings. Robin Uthappa, 31 of 15. And Rituraj Gaikwad, 32 of 27. But bear in mind that he was part of a 61-run opening stand, something that Chennai really needed. And they got a 50-run power play without the loss of a wicket, which set up the base. You're watching Crickbuzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. I'm Gaurav Kapoor. With me, Sean Pollock and Ajay Jadeja. Gentlemen, my first question to both of you. Is my technical summation of these first 20 overs okay? Which is, whoa!
Yeah, definitely. I think AJ's on mute, so I'll go first. I think it's superb effort by them. I mean, obviously, we've seen the partnership of these guys up front has been absolutely brilliant throughout the tournament. They've carried that form in here, so well done to them for that. And then also you go down the route of having a look at the problems they had. They made the call to get Uthappa at number 3. He's paid dividends at the back end of this tournament, so that's brilliant. And then holding faith in Moeen Ali, he's got 37 of 20. So I think they've got to be very happy with 192. I think it's a good surface. It's much better than what Kolkata have been playing on for the last few games. And I think it showed in their bowling department. I think they were struggling a little bit. I don't think their options. I mean, when you play on a surface like Sharjah, where you can just run in and whack it into the deck and it basically does the damage for you, it slows up or bounces low, it's easy. But when you come to a good surface, that's unfortunately when you have to use your different skills, and some of the guys maybe found a little bit wanting. So they've got to be happy, and Kolkata think, well, it doesn't really matter, we've just got to get it, we've got to go try and win.
Yeah, it's a big one. Remember, they got 191 against the same team 9 years ago when they played the final. Different surface, of course, different personnel. Well, not different personnel for Chennai. They've still got a few from that team. But, the criticism, Ajay, used to be that Dad's Army has shown that father is father.
If anybody had a doubt, I mean, even all of us sitting here or anybody watching, all our fathers are fathers. Fathers are always ones to be respected. But the fact is also that, the sons have to take over what fathers have been doing for years.
True.
So,
yes.
So you got to respect that and, got to go out there and do. I mean, look, what has been dangerous of KKR? When they had nothing to lose, they've been doing it all correct. If this was a 168, maybe they would have had something to lose. Now, my only fear is they have nothing to lose. At that 191, 92, 93 is at that stage. But, it's been an eye-opener for me. I mean, like the matchups and, the money ball that we talk, you saw exactly that format today. And, the father here in MS Dhoni just changed the whole game. I mean, not the players, but they approached it differently. I was only worried about that bit, that they shouldn't leave it all for the end, which they didn't. And they just carried on playing if they were in a good position. They were lucky. I think they were really lucky. I mean, go back to that first over. Faf being stumped, nothing spectacular that I'm asking. Just simple. Game probably would have been different because there's enough for the seamers with help. So once that went through, then I think Chennai was on their way.
Yeah, and they kept, you say power play, don't lose wickets. They don't lose wickets. You say middle overs, milk them. They milk them solid. You say, you end big. They end big as well. This is, Sean, if you look at a T20 innings and you look at an innings progression, this is pretty much as close to a perfect copybook report card of the student who sits in the first row.
Yeah, I think A+. I would agree with you on that one. And also it's understanding the opposition. So, there was no real movement up front. Shakib Al Hasan, maybe he's not going to get his ball to turn, so they decided to take those two options on. In Chakravarti, I mean, I think he was most expensive spell he's had since returning or in the UAE. And I thought they played him really well, and they treated Nareen with respect, so they kept knocking it around. So they were very conscious of the strengths of the opposition and, not losing wickets to those strengths, because new men coming to the crease would have struggled. And when they saw opportunities, when Lockie Ferguson, for example, came back for his second spell, they thought, okay, well, this is the opportunity. They'd take him down. I think it was 2 6s and a 4 in the 1 over.
Yeah.
So the plans were really good. I think the cricket awareness was superb.
Yeah, they didn't. And Ajay, you always say this. You say this so much that even when you're not getting anything, take the single, that the bowler is giving you the single. Take it. Right? And they did that well. That 6, the 7th, 8th, right after the power play, the 7th, 8th over, you got Narayan, you got Chakravarti, back foot, hit it out on the leg side, take the single. They're happy to give you, and you never understood it, right? You always keep saying, why are you giving the 1 run? But they were giving it, and Chennai was taking it.
Yeah, because, there are phases in a game where batsman is, got nothing to lose, and that's a different stage. But what phase that you're talking about, the bowler has nothing to lose at that stage. If he gets hit for a 6 at that time or a 4 where a batsman takes a chance, you can bring your team back into the game. But if you keep giving those singles, the stats look good and the averages look good, but what ends up is that, you've, allowed that batsman off your good delivery or when the pressure was on him to get to the other end and take 1 run as well. And the bad balls will come in. Once you get to a stage in this format, past 8 overs or 12 overs or 13 overs with, wickets in hand, then, that single, even if you don't want to give, they'll take it from you. So it's a simple game. I mean, this is one of the biggest games in this tournament, in this format in the world. Both of your teams, you got to think that you are the best people there. When you executing your skill, whether as a batsman or whether as a bowler, if you are not sure of what you are trying to do and you say, okay, I should not make a mistake and, wait for the other guy to make a mistake, that's not going to happen. So that single for me is probably worse than, being hit for a 6 at that time, at that stage of the game. Because somebody tries to hit that 6, you have a chance to pick a wicket. It's a pressure game. You need 5 balls. Now, say when KKR is chasing. When does Chennai win this game? They only need 6 balls to go in their favor. Top 6 guys, if you pick those wickets. So when do they come? Earlier is your best chance. So you'll see that from Dhoni. From Mahendra Singh Dhoni, you'll see very clear. He'll have his seamers going at it for first 6 overs, maybe 1 odd over somewhere in the spinner. But he knows there'll be a slip standing. They'll either, whatever the score may be, it may be 30 for no loss or 60 for 4. But you'll have that slip going. You'll have all fielders not giving you that single. If you can come beat us, fair enough.
He won't let it drift. Sean, I just want to tell you that Ajay is like a bouncer in a Delhi nightclub. He doesn't like to let singles go through. Doesn't like it at all. It's just like, no singles allowed. But
especially on ladies' nights.
I can't tell whether Sean liked the joke or it was just too painful for him. He's just like, why am I here? Why am I subjected to this drivel?
I'm loving it. I'm loving your work. Loving your work.
Thank you so much. Love the work of Robin Uthappa and Moeen Ali today. Let's talk about them because they've come in at a tough spot, right? Both of them have come in after the power play is up. So field is out, slightly biggish ground in certain places. These guys come in and they just kept going. You're very happy if you're 3 and 4 can give you 30 runs at a 200 strike rate.
Yeah, I think the good thing about it was the 6s that were hit. That takes the pressure off. It's a big ground that it's not a small ground, Dubai. So means that the timing has to be good. And Faf could play the role of not only being there, he also was quite penetrative and quite explosive at times. But I think if you look back to the discussions we've maybe had about CSK over the season, it would have been who's the number 3, what role are they going to fill? Moeen Ali, we've got to get him back into form. And when the big match counted, there they were, ready to be counted and putting their team in a good position. So that's really good signs for them.
They hit 10 sixes. And you remember, we've been complaining that there's been a drought. I don't think Sunil Narine was hit for a 6 before this, right? In this tournament? Is it the first 6 that Oh, he was. But today you got 10-6. You got 3 apiece from Robin, Moin, and Faf. And then you got the one from Rituraj Gaikwad. I don't know, Ajay. This is, yes, of course, Knight Riders fans are looking at it and saying, oh, we got 191 against Chennai in 2012. But I don't think this was that easy. Looking at it, it didn't seem like it was that easy a batting pitch. We've got to give credit to Chennai. We've got to give credit to the way they placed the ball. There were so many in the gaps in the V, in the offside and the onside. There were so many in the gaps. There were so many sixes. It was a very clever and pointed attack.
Yeah, very clever and pointed, as you rightly said, because I think 10 sixes in this game and only 12 boundaries. So, 12 sixes and 12 boundaries, that makes you 110, and then rest is all singles, doubles and all. What was clever about it is that, at no stage of the game did they allow Kolkata to run the game. What Kolkata has been doing in the last few games is that they've been running the game. So when a bowler is brought on, there's already a play already made that, Narayan's come, or, say Varun Chakravarti has come. Now all the opposition teams were already playing in a different way. Okay, defensive or attacking. So, but what Chennai managed to do because of that great start that they had and the intelligence that they showed, that at no stage when these guys came to bowl was a period where you had to do anything different. It is the bowler who had to do it every time. So, in the first spell of, Chakravarti and Narayan, the batsman said, okay, give us 2, I will take 2. Give us 5, 7, whatever you give, we'll take. So you were trying everything. Then comes the last over of, Varun Chakravarti, who's, one of the 8 overs. You use him in the 19th over. What does that, so there again, now there is no pressure on the batsman. They've got to that total. So they made sure Kolkata never used their resources attackingly. It was all defensive from the moment that second over went through. Once that second over got through, Kolkata was defensive all the way, and that is what the cleverness was from Chennai Super King, I think. They didn't allow Morgan to use his, skills or
optimize his resources. They did not allow him to optimize. Sean, before we go, just a quick word on Shivam Mavi. Definitely the Shivam Mavi being the least experienced, you could say, or probably the least feared, without being disrespectful, probably the least feared in that bowling lineup as well. Definitely, do you think the best tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought he adjusted the best of all the bowlers. I thought he was using his variations well, even when he wanted to go to the plans at the death. He was pretty good. So I think he'll be happy. A nice curve for him, nice experience for him in a big game like this to produce. So that's good for his career. I think going forward in this run chase, I know I've harbored the point, but I think the KKR guys trying to adjust to this surface, the extra bounce, the extra pace of it. I think Chahar and Hazelwood will be a real handful. I think the bounce of Hazelwood will be very difficult for them to deal with, considering what they batted on lately. And I think Chahar, we've seen over the years, this is the one ground where he does get the ball to shape from time to time. Yeah. So if he can get that movement, he's going to ask a lot of questions with the slip in place, as AJ mentioned.
Of course, the only question we have to ask right now is, or you guys can ask us, is who won our game? Doesn't matter who's winning the trophy. Who won our game? And we have to applaud Mr. Ajay Jadeja, who said 189, at which point we were looking at him a little dodgily, wondering what was in his coffee cup. Why was he saying 189? But it has proven to be correct. So applause to you, sir. Applause. There you go. Oh, he's got a bottle.
Oh, he's got his silverware.
There you go. His trophy. I can tell you he's a team.
And he did also say that 189 is the winning total.
He did, and I have something to say to that. The targets of 180 plus have been successfully chased down twice in IPL finals, and both times by the Knight Riders. Once against Punjab Kings 11, some Punjab, whatever the new name is, PBKS. 200 by them, and then that was in 2014, and then 191 against this team in 2012 is what we did tell you. Can they make it third time lucky as well? 3 in a row, 3-peat. Mr. Jadeja, your call, since you have the crystal ball tonight.
No, because the total's gone beyond that thinking period, and that works for KKR.
You're not changing your call. Yeah.
No, I'm not changing my call. Kolkata will get a sniff at this. It's when they get that sniff at it, what do they do? Do they carry on or they start thinking? I'm at the end. I think if you ask me now, what I think CSK will come through, but KKR will go all guns blazing, and when they have nothing to lose, they're a dangerous side. So if they get into too much trouble, then is the only opportunity. But if they are coasting along, then they won't win.
Ooh, that's really, I love that. I love it. That's good. Polly, that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah,
interesting.
It's interesting.
Psychological analysis.
Yeah. But I think it's a big first 6 overs. The openers have done a great job. They did a great job in the semi-final or the eliminator as well. I think if they make the adjustment, it makes life a lot easier for the middle order. But I think they've got their work cut out of them with those CSK bowlers who have bowled a lot on this pitch so far.
All right. So if I was to ask you to quantify it, are you saying just it's completely Chennai's game? Would you go 70-30? The sniff that you talk about, if you had to quantify that sniff, what would that be?
I think they've got
we'll show you the Calcutta squad, the Calcutta 11 today. They've got the batting. They bat way down. Yeah, and they've got some big hitters. They've got the whole right-left combination. There's enough going on over there, right? They've got Sunil Narayan coming in at 8. You probably won't come in at 8. They'd like to throw him. Today is the day when they'll throw him up.
Okay, so. I don't want to put a spanner in the works, but I think it's too much for them, personally. I think they'll lose early because Tripathi, can he bat? We haven't seen the best from Morgan, Kartik. Shakib Ul Hasan has only played a little bit of a part. And then your Nareen, he comes in and whacks it, but this ground's massive. He often on these kind of grounds comes and whacks it and gets caught in the fence. So I think it's too much for them. I think at best they've got a 20% chance, but that's still giving them hope, and everyone needs hope in life.
You're so sweet. That's so nice of you. It's almost like you're given a consolation prize. There's going to be no trophy, but here, have some hope, will you please? I don't know. Is there not? Well, there's one thing that is for sure, is that the Knight Riders are going to come hard at this. And remember, they've got the top 4 batters, the Indian batters, with not too much international experience. Those Indian batters have been in roaring form. So that they're going to depend on them and say, come on, boys, tonight's the night. It's the big stage. And when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Come out and show us what you're made of. So it is going to make for a very cracker final. And that's what we're looking forward to. So thank you to Mr. Ajay Jadeja and to Mr. Sean Pollock. You want to predict the power play score? Could you just go? It's the last one. It's the last game. Let's do it. Let's see if you can bring out the crystal ball, Mr. Jadeja, and tell us how much is Calcutta going to get in the power play. Don't whether they win or not, just feels. # feels.
51.
51, which is
42
exactly what Chennai got, right? Chennai also got 51. Yeah, okay. That'd be great. They got 50 for no loss. So you're saying 51. Polly, you're saying 42?
42 for 2.
For 2? Okay.
For 2?
Then I'll sit right in the middle then. 47. Let's say 47. Or maybe I should just say like 32 for 4. And have all the Knight Riders fans come at me. No, 47. 47 is my call.
Or you can go 68 for 4.
Just 68 for 4 can't happen. It's not science fiction. How can it be 4 down and 68? That'd just be nuts. If that's happening, then geez, you don't want to miss even one ball. And we missed a few.
Yes.
So we should
I think it's time to go and watch the game.
Yeah, I think we should. All right, we're going to see you at the end of the 10th over with Crick Buzz Combox. And of course, we're going to be here at the end of the game talking about this final and with a preview of the... There's no preview. You were watching Crick Buzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. I'm Gaurav Kapoor. We'll see you in a bit.